The hall never said a word. He only watched. Then one night, a note appeared on my door. It wasn't a threat. No, it was something far more terrifying. Stay with us as we unfold this chilling true horror story. But before we begin, don't forget to support us by hitting like and subscribing to the channel for more spine-tingling tales and inspiring stories. Enjoy the story if you dare.
There are two types of fear. The first is the loud, sudden kind. The jump scare in a dark room. The scream in the night. It's a firework. Intense but brief. But the second kind. The second kind is a slow poison. Did you like this story? If so, you might also like another story about a creepy neighbor, which you can find here. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. It's the quiet, creeping dread that seeps into the cracks of your everyday life until you can no longer tell the difference between reality and the paranoia it has bred. This is the story of my second fear. His name. I never learned his name. I only knew him as the man in apartment 7B. I moved into the building 6 months ago, a fresh start. The apartment was nothing special, but it was mine. For the first few weeks, life was beautifully mundane. Then I started noticing him. The man from 7B, the apartment directly across the hall. He was a creature of unnerving routine. Every morning at 7:15 a.m., I'd hear his door unlock, the metallic click echoing in the quiet hallway. Then, footsteps. Not a shuffle, not a stomp, but a measured, deliberate pace. Every evening at 6 p.m., precisely the same sounds in reverse. At first, I thought nothing of it. We are all slaves to our habits, but then came the stare. When I'd leave to get my mail, he'd be there, standing in his slightly ajar doorway. He wouldn't speak. He wouldn't even nod. He would just watch me. His face was a blank canvas of unsettling calm, his eyes fixed on me with a predatory stillness that made the hairs on my arms stand up. The real horror began with the small things, the echoes. One Tuesday, I threw out my trash at 10 p.m. The next Tuesday, as I approached my door, I heard 7B's door open. He walked out with his own trash bag. Our eyes met for a fraction of a second. His held nothing. A void. The following week, I ordered a specific brand of Indian food for delivery. The next evening, the smell of that exact same curry, that specific aromatic blend of cardamom and turmeric wafted from under his door. A coincidence, I told myself. It had to be. But it wasn't. The mimicry became my silent tormentor. The brand of coffee I bought, the time I left for a weekend trip, the new blue welcome mat I placed outside my door. A week later, an identical one would appear in front of his. He was creating a mirror image of my life, a distorted, silent echo of my existence. My safe space, my home, was being methodically violated, not by force, but by a suffocating psychological replication. I started to question my sanity. Was I imagining it? Was I the one who was obsessed? Sleep became a luxury. Every creak in the building, every footstep in the hall, sent a jolt of ice-cold adrenaline through my veins. The man in 7 Bites was no longer just a neighbor. No, he was a phantom limb of my own life, a constant silent presence even when he wasn't there. The climax wasn't loud, it wasn't violent. It was quiet and far, far worse. I came home one evening to find a package at my door. It was something I had ordered. But on top of it was a small, neatly folded note. My heart hammered against my ribs. My hands trembled as I unfolded it. It wasn't a threat. There were no cutout letters. There were only 5 words, written in a sterile, perfect script. They left this in the lobby. He had touched my mail. He had been at my door. He knew I wasn't home. The note was an act of calculated intimacy, a simple neighborly gesture transformed into a declaration. I am always watching. I know your schedule. I can touch your world whenever I please. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on my couch, in the dark, staring at my own front door, waiting for what I didn't know. Around 3 a.m., the power in the building went out. The emergency lights in the hall cast long, grotesque shadows, and then I heard it. It's a familiar metallic click of his door unlocking. My breath hitched in my throat. I was paralyzed. Couldn't move. Couldn't scream. Then, the footsteps. Not walking away as they did every morning. This time they were coming closer. Thud, thud, thud. They stopped right outside my door. The silence that followed was the loudest sound I had ever heard. It was a suffocating, absolute silence, pregnant with terror. Then, a soft knock. A gentle, almost friendly tap, tap, and a voice. The first and only time I ever heard it. It was not a monster's growl. It was worse. It was a calm, placid, horrifyingly normal voice. I noticed your power is out too, it said, the sound muffled by the wood of the door. I just wanted to make sure you were comfortable. We like things the same, you and I. I never answered. I stayed frozen on that couch until the sun came up. When I finally found the courage to look through the peephole, the hallway was empty. His blue welcome mat was gone. I called the police. They found his apartment completely empty. No furniture, no clothes, no trace of anyone ever living there. It was as if he had evaporated. The building management had no record of a tenant in 7B for the last 3 years. They said it was a vacant unit used for storage. I moved out the next day, but the fear he built inside me, that moved with me. The second kind of fear, it doesn't leave. Sometimes in a crowded street or a busy store, I'll see a man with that same blank face, that same unnerving stillness. And for a terrifying second, I wonder if he's found me again, or I wonder if he was ever really there at all. The echo in apartment 7B is gone, but the echo in my mind, hey, that is now my permanent neighbor. And that was the echo in apartment 7B.